That's right, you're watching Football Daily, and here are 10 players who could win their team the Champions League this season. Let's go. 10. Robert Lewandowski. Despite entering his 30s, Robert Lewandowski is starting the 2019-20 season exactly where he left off. Bayern Munich's Polish talisman has begun the Bundesliga in sensational fashion, with 6 goals in the first 3 games, including a hat-trick away to Schalke. So not only is Lever integral for his natural goal-scoring ability, but also for the simple fact that Bayern have no one else in his role. He has been extremely prolific in the Champions League in recent seasons, scoring 30 goals in 39 starts, always averaging at least 4 shots a game in each campaign. But this season will be his first without Ribéry and Robben since his move to Bavaria, meaning his suppliers could be any one of Coman, Coutinho, Gnabry or Müller. But it's unlikely that the combination of players around will affect his on-field performance. Lewandowski is only just entering his 6th season with Bayern, yet his 198 goals already places him 4th in their all-time top scorers list, and in all likelihood will be 2nd come the end of the season. It's hard to argue that any striker will be as important to their team in the UCL this season than the 31-year-old will be to Bayern. Before we move on to our next player, make sure you've subscribed to the channel and click that notification bell so you don't miss another video. 9. Axel Witsel. In such an exciting attacking team like Borussia Dortmund, eyes are usually cast forward to the likes of Paco Alcacer, Marco Reus and Jadon Sancho, instead of further back down the formation. But when you do, you find Axel Witsel, the metronome of this team. Once again this season, he's been one of the unsung heroes, averaging over 110 passes a match and setting up 2 goals for his clinical teammates. And the Belgian was Dortmund's standout player last season in European competition. He made 90 passes a match, completing 95% of them in his 7 Champions League appearances. No player who played as much as he did was involved in more play. Witsel is also integral to the breakup of opposition attacks, making close to 3 tackles and interceptions a match throughout the entirety of last season. He won't score goals and in most circumstances won't provide the assists either, but his role in transition and moving the ball from one end of the pitch to the other is central to Lucien Favre's style of play. Be sure to keep an eye on him this campaign. 8. Heung-min Son. No player has quite captured the hearts of Tottenham fans like Heung-min Son since his arrival in North London 4 years ago. Over that time, he has developed into one of Mauricio Pochettino's most trusted players, not least last campaign whilst Harry Kane was ruled out through injury. The Korean featured in all but one of Spurs' matches en route to their maiden Champions League final, scoring 4 goals in the process. No player could offer Poch what Son does. Being two-footed gives him the ability to play on either wing, and at times he has been deployed down the middle as well. No player in the Spurs squad has completed more than his 2 dribbles and 2 key passes per 90 at this early stage of the season. And last campaign he found himself the focal point of the attack in Kane's absence, making 1.7 dribbles and taking 2.8 shots in each match. A lot more direct than his teammates, most times Son picked up the ball, he cultivated a chance for either himself or others. Pochettino will be expecting more of the same this season, and so are we. 7. Casemiro. In a similar vein to Axel Witsel, Casemiro is the glue that holds together the Real Madrid side. In a team that this season will have Benzema, Hazard, Kroos, Modric and Vinicius amongst so much more peripheral talent, they need a player to hold it down in the midfield, a job that is left to the Brazilian. By no means is the 27-year-old the best player at Real, but he is integral to the way Los Blancos play under Zinedine Zidane. Casemiro routinely puts up big defensive numbers, often around 5 tackles and interceptions a match, whilst during Real Madrid's Champions League triumph in 2017, he averaged 8.3 defensive actions a game. Simply monstrous. His presence frees Kroos and Modric of their defensive responsibilities, as well as allowing Marcelo and Carvajal to bomb on down the wings, safe in the knowledge that Casemiro will be there covering. He has also popped up with the odd goal here and there, most notably putting his side 2-1 up in the 2017 Champions League final against Juventus. If he doesn't perform, neither do Madrid. 6. Jan Oblak. Following the departure of Antoine Griezmann, Atletico Madrid are devoid of any truly elite players recognised the world over. João Felix is certainly living up to the hype. However, if Diego Simeone's side are to still be in the Champions League come springtime, it's goalkeeper Jan Oblak who needs to be on top form. Atleti's new vice-captain, the Slovenian has already established himself as one of the world's elite keepers, if not the best. In fact, there was a point last season where the 6'2" stopper had, in his entire career in Spain, kept more clean sheets than goals conceded. Ridiculous considering he has now racked up over 200 appearances and 100 clean sheets for Los Colchoneros since arriving in 2014. Simeone prides himself on his defence, with Atleti often being La Liga's tightest back line. However, they have effectively a brand new lineup after 4 regular starters all moved on over the summer. While they have started the new season with 3 wins at the time of recording, having the assurance of Oblak behind them will help the new defenders settle in as they look to reach a first UCL final since 2016. 5. Matthijs de Ligt. As the only centre-back on our list, this may seem a peculiar shout, but after an incredible season with Ajax last season and making a £67 million move to Juventus in the summer, we believe Matthijs de Ligt can help the Italian Giants win the Champions League for the first time since 1996. With arguably the best UCL player of all time in Cristiano Ronaldo, Juventus fans were left shocked when they exited the competition last season to a young Ajax side. One of the main reasons for this was their captain de Ligt, man of the match after silencing CR7 and co. The Dutchman made 7 tackles and interceptions, 10 clearances, and of course scored the decisive goal. The 20-year-old is not the finished article by any means, but this is what makes him scary. Last season he was dribbled past just 0.4 times per game and had a pass success rate of 90%, better than Juventus pairing Bonucci and Chiellini. With the old guard ageing and Chiellini now out for the season with an ACL injury, de Ligt will be a key figure in their Champions League run. 4. Trent Alexander-Arnold. Currently the champions of Europe, Liverpool are in incredible shape to defend their title, and perhaps their most important player this season is Trent Alexander-Arnold. The 20-year-old had an incredible 2018-19 season, with his 12 assists in the league being a record for a defender. And in the Champions League, he was a man possessed, not only managing 3 assists, including the fast corner which caught out Barcelona, but also completing 2 key passes and taking 1.1 shots per game. Impressive numbers for a fullback. A constant threat on the right-hand side for the Reds, TAA recorded more assists, key passes, crosses and long balls than fellow Englishman Kyle Walker, despite playing less minutes. And after just 4 games of this campaign, he had recorded 2 assists, averaged 3.5 key passes per game, and completed 3.8 long balls. Now in his 3rd full season as a Liverpool senior player, with Virgil van Dijk next to him and arguably the best front 3 in the world, Trent Alexander-Arnold has a strong chance of retaining that Champions League title. 3. Kevin De Bruyne. Manchester City are still on the hunt for their first European trophy following multiple years of disappointing exits, and talisman Kevin De Bruyne was left frustrated last season after being sidelined for 29 games due to multiple injuries spanning across the season. He made just 6 starts last campaign, making 14 appearances in total, but managed to record 8 goal contributions. He was really affected even with his limited minutes, taking 1.8 shots, making 1.9 key passes and completing 2 dribbles a match. Despite a domestic treble win and 100 points in the season before that, Pep Guardiola is not content without European glory, adding the highly rated Rodri and João Cancelo in the summer. But the best news he could have got is that KDB is now fully fit. The Belgian midfielder has started this campaign on fire, scoring 1 and assisting 5 in his first 4 games, averaging 3 shots and 4 key passes per 90. With a UCL group containing Atalanta, Dinamo Zagreb and Shakhtar Donetsk, the Belgian will enter these games with a lot of confidence. 2. Kylian Mbappe. Kylian Mbappe is already a 3-time Ligue 1 champion, a World Cup winner, and finished 4th in the Ballon d'Or voting last year, all before his 21st birthday. The Parisian seems to be getting better and better, recently reaching the 100-goal landmark in just 180 appearances. And while he's been performing at the highest level, the same can't be said for his club in Europe. With all their success domestically, PSG are still yet to reach a Champions League semi-final, let alone win it. Despite having billionaire owners who took over in 2011, they have always struggled when it comes to playing in the prestigious competition. Spending over €1 billion on transfers in 7 years hasn't yet worked, And although they have won 18 out of the 20 possible trophies in France since 2013, they're still not satisfied. Ridiculed for playing in a weak league, PSG know European glory is the only way to gain the respect they seek. And Mbappe seems to be the man to bring the trophy to Paris, with 9 goal involvements in 8 appearances last campaign. With Neymar staying put and the lone arrival of Mauro Icardi, if Tuchel can get it right, they'll have the most lethal front three in Europe. 1. Lionel Messi. After declaring his intention to bring the Champions League back to the Camp Nou and ultimately failing, Lionel Messi will be under even more pressure this season to win Barca the esteemed trophy. Although they comfortably won the league, a 4-0 thrashing against eventual winners Liverpool derailed what would have become a treble-winning campaign. The Argentinian did all he could on their Champions League run, scoring 12 goals in 9 appearances, 4 more than the next best, and picked up 3 assists. He also averaged 5.4 shots and 3.5 dribbles each match, on the way to 49 goal involvements in just 29 La Liga matches. As the best player in the world, he will always be a threat. However, the acquisitions of Frenkie de Jong, voted as UEFA Midfielder of 2018-19, and Antoine Griezmann, with 6 goal involvements in 8 appearances last season, the Catalan club look in much better shape to challenge for the famous cup. After being drawn in the toughest group this season with a strong Borussia Dortmund side and a new look into Milan, Messi and co need to start fast to get their hands back on the trophy for the first time since 2015. So those were our 10 players who can win their club the Champions League, but what did you make of it? Can you think of any more? Let us know in the comments below. If you enjoyed this, why not click on screen right now? And as always, don't forget to like and subscribe.